Oklahoma definitely could not be in a five-star recruitment without the drama, and that's exactly what they're getting right now with the five-star tight end Davon Mitchell as he took his visit to Miami. Seems like he told a Miami reporter that Miami was number one and in the lead spot. And now Oklahoma fans are sitting here asking the question, is Oklahoma playing from behind now for Devon Mitchell? Guys, it's something we got to talk about, something we got to discuss. And before we do that, go ahead, jump down the comments below and let me know what y'all's thoughts are. Does Devon Mitchell actually become a Sooner, or will he end up at like a Miami or an Alabama, which are two teams that have definitely been vying for the five-star tight end in 2025 that has been looking at reclassifying in 2024? So the five-star tight end Devon Mitchell took a visit to Miami and presumably told a Miami reporter that Miami was number one on his list. Now, this is strange because we haven't actually heard Devon Mitchell say anything like this in his recruitment so far. You've just kind of heard speculations from the Brandon Drums and the Parker Thunes and those guys around the world in the industry saying, hey, we presume that Oklahoma or that so and so is the leader and that they feel good about Devon Mitchell to that place because of X, Y, and Z. Well, if you look at everything that Oklahoma's got playing for them, then in my opinion, no, I don't think that this means anything. And I don't think that Oklahoma doesn't look at a class where they don't land Devon Mitchell in 2024 or 2025, depending on if he actually gets to reclassify. And the reason why that is because if you're the Oklahoma Sooners, you have a compelling pitch that not a lot of other teams are going to be able to have. And that's the amount of teammates that you're going to have from Allen, Texas, that Devon Mitchell played with on your squad. Most notably, the quarterback that he was catching passes from in Michael Hawkins. And then you can also kind of tout the idea that, well, after Dylan Gabriel leaves this season, because I think we all presume he's going to leave this season, that you're going to have a not a former, a five-star quarterback in Jackson Arnold. And then you're also going to have hopefully another five-star quarterback and Kevin Sperry looking to take over the reins. But then you'll also have Michael Hawkins vying for that starting job as well. So the pitch to Devon Mitchell is when you come to Oklahoma, not only are you going to be utilized in a most effective way as a tight end to be able to prep yourself to go to the league, but you're also going to have elite talent throwing you the ball, which is only going to make you look better. And as if I was Devon Mitchell and I hear that pitch, then I feel like I would be leaning that direction. So Devon Mitchell ultimately takes that visit to Miami, and it does get stirred up a little bit because we've heard about Miami kind of throwing some bags around to try to buy players. And yes, if Miami really wants to buy a guy, they probably can buy a guy, and other people are not going to be able to offer. But I will say this, sometimes we put too much stock into the NIL because, in my opinion, I don't feel like NIL is everything for these players. Yes, is it something? Because if one school's offering you $1 million and another school's only offering you 250,000, which I feel like 250,000 is still high, but we're just going to play that number. Then yeah, like the $1 million seems like the better option, especially if you've grown up and you didn't have money, right? Because now all of a sudden you can provide a family or provide a life for your family, right? For your mom that took care of you or your dad or whoever. So yeah, I mean, NIL's got to play some factor depending on what kind of money is being thrown around. But for a five-star tight end, I don't feel like we're throwing around that kind of money. I mean, that kind of money is going to get thrown around for probably your top three quarterbacks or elite offensive line and defensive line. That's where you're going to kind of see big time money being thrown around. Because those are really, I mean, at any other position, like you see in the NFL, wide receiver, running back, you can get a lower tier guy and develop them into being something great on your team. And I'm not saying Devon Mitchell's a lower tier dude. Devon Mitchell's elite. He is skilled. And Devon Mitchell is a guy that could be a game changer for Oklahoma, where after the season, you're losing Austin Stogner, and there's going to be a lot of questions at the tight end position if you're Oklahoma. So it's going to be interesting to see, can the Oklahoma Sooners do what they need to do to land Davon Mitchell? But guess what? I am under the impression that they can, because if you've heard Parker Thune and Brandon Drum over at Rivals, and if you hear me talk about them guys, it's because they really do have some of the best resources when it comes to OU content. Yeah, guess what? Sometimes they miss out on those commitments and they get them wrong. But guess what? That's just the nature of the game. That's just how it works. Coming from a guy that actually talks to some of the recruits, I completely understand how that can happen, because you talk to somebody, they tell you one thing, but really they end up thinking another. So, and you can't just go, oh, well, they said they lean this way, so I'm going to say they lean this way. Can't do that. Got to go with what they told you. But ultimately, I think that because of what Brandon Drum and Parker Thune have said about Williams Winery and David Stone being taken care of in terms of an NIL front, I definitely think it's going to be the same way for some of these other five-star guys, right? Like, listen, we're going to take care of you on the NIL front. This isn't going to be a thing where you come to Oklahoma and you're taking significantly less money, or something like that. Like, we're going to take care of you. It's not going to be the focal point of our pitch, because we don't want guys that are only solely focused around money, but we will take care of you if that's what you need. And so I think that's important if you're Oklahoma a fan, or Oklahoma fans, to understand is Oklahoma, they know what they're doing, and Brent Venables and the staff, they're going to get this ship on the right track. So let's play hypotheticals, and let's say Oklahoma actually does not land Devon Mitchell, because there's a world where that could happen. Where are they going to go in 2024? Because all of their tight end offers that they've thrown out in 2024, except for one, are all committed. One, I think probably their biggest target, Carter Nelson in Ainsworth, Nebraska, ended up committing Nebraska. Uh, that was not shocking. I think a lot of people expected that recruitment to go that way, even towards the beginning of the year. The only one that you have not committed is the four-star tight end out of Orem, Utah, the 6'4", 195-pound kid, Roger Salipaga. I hope I said that right. That's the only guy that's not committed. So really, maybe at this point in 2024, you're looking at a guy like Carry On to be a flex tight end for you. Because at the end of the day, you still had a pretty good tight end class. And I feel like with Caden Helms and some of those other guys out there, you can wait till 2025 to get an elite tight end, because you can go get one in the portal, right? That's the great thing. You don't always have to fill the need, especially something like this, in the class, if you can go get one in the portal and you got a couple other younger guys in the waiting. But then if you're going into 2025, you're definitely going all in for two guys. Nate Roberts, the 6'4", 230-pound, four-star tight end out of Washington, Oklahoma. Yes, currently committed to Notre Dame, but you're going all in for him. And then you're going to be going all in for a guy that actually, or maybe two guys, but one that was here at the Brent Venables camp, that got an offer at the Brent Venables camp. The guys, I'm going to tell you, looked pretty good. And I definitely, even though he's not ranked in the composite now, I think could be ranked in the composite when it's all said and done. And that is the 6'5", 200-pound tight end Chase Lofton out of Elkhorn North in Omaha, Nebraska. Dude is extremely talented. He's already picked up 6 offers from Nebraska, Kansas State, Iowa State, Missouri, and Illinois, and of course Oklahoma. So he's definitely getting offers from some of those other teams that Oklahoma competes for in the Midwest. And it's one that I think if Oklahoma really pushes forward, they could ultimately end up winning, especially with how that tight end room is going to look. If you're a recruit, you have to look at the situation at Oklahoma and go, that makes sense for me. But then you've also got the tight end out of Carl Albert High School that'll be playing with Kevin Sperry and Marcus James at 6'3", 210 pounds. So it'll be interesting to see kind of exactly what happens there with Oklahoma and what happens at the tight end position. And it's also important to note, when you come back to Davon Mitchell and his decision, yes, it seems like it's been leaning Oklahoma for a while, and I will tell you, I still think it's leaning Oklahoma just from all the information that's being passed around the industry. But Devon Mitchell, while Miami might have given people a scare, Alabama's probably your real threat. Nick Saban and that staff, along with Mama being out at Alabama and him spending some time of his life at Alabama, well, in the state of Alabama, they could be a real threat and somebody that the Oklahoma Sooners have to watch. But guys, I want to hear from you and go ahead, jump down the comments below. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are. Do you think Devon Mitchell will be in the class for Oklahoma, whether that's in 2024 or 2025?